Myself, Ankita Tiwari, from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology, from IT/ICT department. I am going to take a session from Module 1, that is Cybercrimes. From the subject Cybercrimes and Mitigation, 3163 is the subject code. The topic that we are going to cover in this session is password sniffing, phishing, and wishing. Now, all these attacks are basically cyber attacks which are being taken by the attacker in order to take the necessary information about the victims' PCs or victims' password, usernames, many things. So here, basically the cyber attacks is being divided into some of the different forms. So here the first thing that we are going to cover is password sniffing. Now, what do you mean by password sniffing? Password sniffing is an attack on the internet that is used to steal usernames and passwords from the network. So basically it is an attack where usernames and passwords of the victim's PC is being taken by the attacker in order to steal any of the application, like if it is using any banking account, so banking usernames and passwords, its Gmail account, from that it can get the OTP and everything. So basically password sniffing is an attack on the internet where it uses some method to steal their usernames and passwords. Now today it is mostly of historical interest as most protocols nowadays use strong encryption for passwords. Basically today's world, they have been taken encryption techniques in order to get strong passwords so that the hacker or the attacker who is taking the victim's password will need many more things in order to break that to take that usernames and password. So they are using strong encryption methods where it is, however, it is used to be worst security problem on the internet in the 1990s, when news of the major password sniffing attacks were mostly famous that time. So this was the attack which was started on the internet, having to grab its username and password. But nowadays we have many techniques in order to secure that information. So basically the password sniffing problem was largely solved by SSH, which replaced several insecure protocols. So many other protocols have also introduced encryption or at least hashing of passwords, which makes this attacks less practical. So, however, various other credential stealing and reply attacks are still widely used. So man-in-the-middle attacks are commonly used for stealing passwords and credentials today. For today's, the attack which is being used is man-in-the-middle attack, which is commonly used. Okay, so the typical implementation of a password sniffing attack involves, this is the implementation part where how it will gain the access. So involves gaining access to the computer connected to a local area network and installing a password sniffer on it so that it can crack. So the password sniffer is a small program, it's a tiny program that listens to all the traffic in the attached network, builds data streams out of TCP/IP packets and extracts usernames and passwords from those streams that contains protocol that send clear text passwords. Now, what do you mean by clear text? A similar approach that can be applied to other credentials also. So basically the attack can also be performed in switches, routers, printers. It is common nowadays for attackers to install presence on such devices, so they don't run antivirus and aren't easy to audit. Their PCs only can be attacked because other PCs will have antivirus system and they will have the audit system, so that they will get to know in case somebody has taken their username and password. So these attacks are possible where it is not being used basically. So this is what the picture is. As you can see in the diagram, we are having different types of sniffer possible. How the tiny program can enter into your system, into your system or the victim's system, to get the password and username. So we are having the machine. Okay, from there the server, which is there, which is machine having the server, and we are having a firewall. So firewall basically will exclude all the viruses and the Trojan horses which are being entered into your network. But before that, the three means from where the sniffer can attack into your system is, that is first of all the wireless sniffer, then we have internal sniffer, and we have external sniffer. Now external sniffer is by default a program which is by when you are clicking on a link and it is downloaded by a file which is downloaded automatically, that file will have that tiny program. So this is what external sniffer can be. Internal sniffer means it is stored in your PC itself. From the server itself you have got that sniffer, and the sniffer will work as it will take your username, password details. And we have wireless sniffer where it will enter through network, wireless network, and it will enter into your system and will take all the details. So this is how the sniffers, the types of sniffers can attack on the victim's PC. Now, the next topic that we are going to cover is phishing. Now, phishing is a cyber crime in which a target or targets are connected by email, telephone, or text message by someone posing a legitimate institution or lure individuals into providing sensitive data such as personally identifiable information, then banking and credit card details and passwords. So phishing is an attack which is being taken in a form where the victim will have a trust on that person to give all these details as a personal information, the banking information, the credit card details, or the passwords. So this is what an attack, or we can say it's a cyber crime where the target and targets are not known whether the legitimate user is a authorized one or not. So this is what phishing is. The information is then used to access the important accounts and then can result in identity theft and financial loss. So basically phishing, the first phishing lawsuit was filed in 2004 against a Californian teenager who created the imitation of the website America Online. With this fake website, he was able to gain sensitive information from users and access the credit card details to withdraw money from their accounts. And this is what phishing is. Phishing is when you have visited a website, and if you are not seeing that website in a trusted form, it is not a trusted website, and if you are clicking something on it, the sensitive information of a user account will enter into it and the attacker will gain all the information. So this is what phishing is, where it can get the access and then it will use for the financial solutions, for the financial problems. So other than that, email and website phishing, there's also vishing. Vishing is a voice phishing. It is a extended form of phishing itself. And smishing, SMS vishing is a form of SMS. In the form of SMS, the link is being generated, the protocols is being used, and several other phishing techniques cyber criminals are constantly coming up with. So basically phishing was started with the attacker in order to get the information with some links, then it started with some voice, then it started with SMS. So this is what the attackers will always have something in their mind, and they will use other techniques in order to get your information. So this is what phishing is. Common features of phishing emails. First of all, the common features means how it will be pretend to you, how it will look to you, so that you can get a trust on it and you will get the link and you will give your necessary information. So for that, too good to be true, it would be looking like it's very true, and you will get an access and you will get a trust on it and you will give the access to it. So lucrative offers and eye-catching or attention-grabbing statements are designed to attract people's attention immediately. Something good, something beneficial statements will be given for your trustiness, and you will, if you will get that, if you will grab that, you'll get something, you will get some prizes, somewhat like that, you will get some amount. So these were some techniques which are used by the phishers to take the phishing attacks on the victim's PC, and immediately, for instance, may claim that you can win an iPhone, you can win a lottery or some lavish prizes. So just don't click on that suspicious emails, don't click on the links which is provided to you, and if it seems to be good to be true, this probably is. So basically, sense of urgency, a favorite tactic amongst cybercrimes is to ask you to act fast because the super deals are only about a limited time. Some of them will even tell you that you have a few minutes to respond. Your email is being, your bank account is being closed, your money is being gone. Like that, some statements will be given as an urgency and will be asked, give your important information about the banking accounts, and they will give you the access to it, so that you will get an idea like something is having happened as an urgent basis. So don't do that. Be relaxed. Don't give any information, because original bank accountants or the original bank managers don't call you directly. They will just they will give you an SMS, or they will give you through mail any information. So this is what sense of urgency they are using it. The phishers are using it. Then we are having hyperlinks. They may create a link that may not be all appears to be. However, over a link allows you to actual URL where you will be directed upon clicking on it, and it will be completely different. Or it could be a popular website with a misspelling. Now, for instance, like for example, www.bankofamerica.com it is. See, M is being replaced by N. So this is what the thing, M has been replaced by R, and N is so like, look carefully. If you can look the carefully, then you can see that Bank of America is not. It's spelling, somewhat spelling mistake is there. So these things they are using it in order to attack on the attacker's PC. Okay, then we have attachments. If you see an attachment in the email, you are not expecting that. You have to make a sense that do not open it, because they often contain payloads like ransomware or other viruses that will be a file. By click on it, it will be a text file. It will be stored on your PC, and the attacker will gain the access. So the common features of another common feature that we have is unusual sender. Whether it looks like it's someone you don't know or someone you know, if anything seems out to be ordinary, unexpected, out of the character, or just suspicious in general, don't click on it, because this can be an attacker which can take your information, which can take your username, password, or any other sensitive information, and will make frauds. So this is what the common features of phishing emails are, which you should keep in your mind. Now, phishing implementation, as you can see here, we have shown you. I have shown you here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that numbers, where the system goes actually. First of all, the list of all the PCs or the emails to whom to attack is being made by the attacker. It will go to the attacker. This is the attacker itself, where we can show here in middle, and from the attacker it goes to the server, CRC machine, where all the information is being stored. From there, it is being taken to the attacker. It will gain the access, and it will give to the people, where it has created somewhat links or some emails or some attachments. It will send to the user. The sender will go to the CRC machine to access it. See, fourth number, as you can see, it will go to the CRC machine to access it, and from there the attacker will gain the access. Okay, and now from from this user victims, it will be spread to the high profile victims, and it will go on to the CRC machine, and from there the attacker will take it. So this is what the actual working of phishing is, how it works. Attacker will have the information, it will store the information in the CRC machine. From there, it will go to the, it will send first of all the links to the system, to the victims, and the victims will go to the CRC machine to check all the details, and from there the attacker will gain the access. And from these people, it will be spread to the other high profile victims. So this is what phishing attack is. It's a very famous and very largely being used by the attackers, cyber crimes. It's a very famous attacks in today's world. So this is what phishing is. Now, with respect to phishing, we have having another form of phishing, that is vishing. The word vishing is a combination of voice and phishing. Now, phishing is the practice of using deception to get you to reveal personal, sensitive, or confidential information. Now, with respect to that, however, instead of using email, regular phones, or fake websites are like phishers do. Phishers use an internet telephone service, VoIP, voice. Through voice, they make attacks on the PC. Impersonating a person who legitimate business to scam people isn't a new thing. Now, vishing is simply a new twist to an old routine. In fact, vishing has been very largely been used in order to get the access on the internet phone service. So basically, phishing uses a combination of scare tactics and emotional manipulations, so that they try to trick people in order to take the necessary information from them. Now, these wishers even create fake caller ID profiles called caller ID spoofing, which makes the phone number seem legitimate. It looks like it's a authorized user who's calling you, and the goal of phishing is simply to steal your money and your identity or both. So basically, phishing implementation, by spoofing a legitimate phone number, voice phishing scammers lead people to believe the call is legitimate, At the same time, since you know that they can do this, you can't even trust caller ID. So this is what a drawback is. Yet even if you don't answer the phone, they leave voice messages to provoke a response. You will return their call and give up your information. So this is what phishing is. Now phishing examples is take several forms. One type of target your bank accounts or credit card account. For example, you might get a call with a message such as your account has been compromised. It has been hacked. Please call this number to reset your password. Now the wisher hopes that you will hear the message and panic. Now typically when you dial the number, they leave you hear an automated recording and they ask for information like bank account numbers and many other sensitive information. And another wishing attack example is a phone call about a free offer or telling you that you have won a prize. But in order to redeem the price, you need to first pay the shipping and handling charges. The third example is calling saying you have won a prize such as cruise or Disney vacation. To claim your prize, you are told to first pay a redemption fee, and often they ask you to give your credit card information about the phone. So this is what phishing is, where the attacker is with respect to phone, it will call to the victims and will get the access. So this is what phishing is. So we have studied the 3 attacks of cyber crimes. Thank you.